How's it going? Welcome to JR's Corner. I am JR, working on the backyard, and today we have a challenge. And this challenge was, I guess, given to me by my kids. Before I do that challenge, though, before we get into that, I actually want to show you something because, as I mentioned in my last video, working on landscaping, and I'm just built this, put this tree up. The tree's already freaking dying. I have no idea. So if anybody knows how to plant a Navajo willow and why it's dying already after like not even maybe a week, hit me up. So today's challenge, as I mentioned, it's brought to you by my kids. We were talking and came up with the idea that my GoPro, which I'm actually holding in my hand and using for the video, is airtight, right? It's made to be water resistant. And so physics, I guess, would suggest, not that I know anything about physics or am an expert in physics in any way, shape, or form, but physics would suggest that an airtight container would be buoyed by the air that's sealed inside it. Meanwhile, my thought on it is it's metal, it's plastic, it's kind of got a little weight to it. So today's challenge is, will my GoPro sink or swim given the opportunity? So we're going to go ahead and just throw it in the pool here and find out. Before we do that, if I'm right, and I took a poll, and the poll is, if I'm right and the GoPro sinks, then my boys have to buy me a pizza that I don't have to share. So nothing too crazy, but something for me, right? If I'm wrong and it floats, I have to eat a whole box, and we're talking not like the little small package, but like a whole box of Beanboozled Jelly Beans, like the gross ones with like the skunk flavor and the frickin', I don't know, pea flavor. I don't know. They got all kinds of nasty flavors. They got some good ones too, but my goodness, the gross ones far outweigh any sort of good that comes from it. So anyways, we're going to get to this. We're going to find out if this GoPro will sink or swim. And hopefully I'm eating pizza later. So without further ado, thank you, sir. So, as you may or may not have been able to tell, it sank like a rock. Guess who's getting pizza? This guy. Alright, so we're going to cut ahead. Let's go get some pizza. Alright, so we're back in the house. As you can tell by the footage, the camera did in fact sink. I suspected it. Kind of figured that was going to happen because, it just seemed like that makes the most sense as far as the weight of the camera. I didn't think that the camera itself would be buoyed by any air inside. There's not enough to do that given the weight, which is why the kit, you can get like kits that attach to the camera and allow it to float in the water, or basically be under the water, but not necessarily just at the bottom. So it makes sense. So as a result, got me some pizza. Thanks for the kids. Domino's. Not a big Domino's fan for the most part, but I will say that they make a good pepperoni. Brings up a good question. what is or where is the best pizza you've ever had? I like the Domino's pepperoni. I think their crust is doable. There's a place in Chandler called Hungry Howie's, which is they have like a butter crust that, oh my gosh, it'll make you fat, but it is so amazing. They've also got a restaurant here, and I know that it's in a lot of states. It's a place called Papa Murphy's. That concept of pizza is actually kind of an interesting one. They make the pizza and then they give it to you to take home to bake. And so that is kind of interesting. But those are pretty good too. As far as best pizza, I would say that my favorite ever is probably a tie. And I'll tell you why, because I've spent quite a bit of time on the East Coast. I don't know how this video became about pizza, but I guess, whatever. There's a place in Boston, at least the last time when I lived there, and we're talking like 2001, there's a place in Boston called Al Capone's, and they served grinders or subs and pizza. And I swear up and down that place is ran by the mafia, based off of what I saw, but I don't know for sure, so who am I to say? And then the other place, I don't remember the name of it, but when I lived in New York, I lived on Long Island, out in Huntington, and I lived off of, I lived on Woodhull Road off of, I believe it was the 110 that goes up through Huntington. I think I'm having some technical difficulties. I was sitting there rambling on about my story, and all of a sudden my camera died. So, have to just plan it better, I guess. I don't know, but yeah. So Woodhull Road and the 110 in Huntington, New York. I don't remember the name of the joint, but man, it was good. And we're talking like 2011, so I don't even know if they're still around. But that was really good pizza too. So New York pizza was really good. Pretty much any pizza joint in New York, you can't go wrong. Boston pizza was really good, at least the one I went to, because it was like authentic. I don't know what authentic. What's the authentic? It was an authentic pizza joint in North Boston, which is like the Italian area. So definitely both of those were pretty good. But I'm a sucker for pizza, and when it comes to discount pizza, you can't exclude Costco pizza because it's not bad and it's $1.50. So you can't go wrong. You can get filled up for a giant slice of pizza at Costco for what, $2 with a drink. So there's pizza. Not that we were going to get distracted on pizza. I'm going to go ahead and eat my pizza because I am starving. And I'll freaking see you later. Thanks for joining. Mm.